Have you ever stopped to really think about what proteins are? Most people hear about them at the gym or see them on food labels, but very few actually know what's going on inside the body. Proteins are basically the building blocks of life. They're involved in pretty much every vital function you can imagine. From the muscles that help you roll out of bed in the morning to the skin that shields you from the outside world, everything depends on them. But what exactly are these molecules everyone keeps talking about? Proteins are macromolecules, huge molecules made up of smaller parts that connect like pieces of a puzzle. These smaller parts are called polypeptides, which are nothing more than long chains of peptides. And if we zoom in even further, peptides themselves are made of something simpler, amino acids, the tiny building blocks of life. It's pretty mind-blowing that these microscopic structures can create muscles, hair, hormones, and even antibodies that defend us against diseases. Chemically speaking, every protein is made mostly of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen, and some also contain sulfur. On rare occasions, you'll even find phosphorus. These elements arrange themselves in very specific ways to create different types of proteins. A tiny change in the order of amino acids can completely change its function or make it useless. It's like moving a single part in an engine. It might make it run better or just stop it entirely. Now, think about how many times you've heard someone talk about protein like it's just that stuff in chicken or eggs. The truth is, it's way more than just a diet thing. Proteins are life in motion. Without them, the human body simply wouldn't exist the way it does. Even the hormones that regulate blood sugar or help tissues grow rely on proteins. That's why scientists often call them the body's workhorse molecules. Once you get what proteins are, the next step is understanding why they're so essential for life. Earlier I said they're the building blocks of the body, but they're also the tools that keep everything running. Every single protein in your body has a specific job, and together they form a microscopic army that keeps you alive and kicking. The first major role of proteins is structural. Without them, we wouldn't have muscles, skin, nails, or hair. Collagen, for example, is the protein that gives your skin firmness and keeps your joints stable. Imagine life without it. Your bones would wear down easily, and your skin would lose its elasticity super fast. And this goes way beyond looks. Structural proteins are literally the foundation of the human body, the base that allows all other functions to happen. Another fascinating role is catalytic, handled by enzymes. They're like the body's speed boosters. Without enzymes, the chemical reactions in your body would happen way too slowly to sustain life. Picture trying to digest a full meal without them. It would take hours, maybe days, to break down every nutrient. Thanks to enzyme proteins, digestion happens in minutes, turning food into energy and fuel for your muscles. It's a silent job, but absolutely crucial. Proteins are also your body's defenders. They create antibodies, microscopic soldiers that fight off viruses and bacteria every single day. Every time you catch a cold and recover, you can thank your protein army for working nonstop to protect you. On top of that, some proteins help with blood clotting and protect your mucous membranes, stopping infections before they spread. It's like having an invisible fortress built brick by these incredible molecules. Hormonal function is another key role. A lot of the hormones that control vital processes are actually proteins or derived from them. Insulin and glucagon, for example, manage your blood sugar levels. Growth hormone is essential for muscle development and recovery. Even adrenaline, the fight or flight hormone that gets you ready for action, relies on proteins somewhere along the way. Without them, your body wouldn't be able to communicate with itself, and everything would fall apart. And it doesn't stop there. Proteins are also the transporters in your body. Hemoglobin carries oxygen to every single cell. Lipoproteins haul fats and fat-soluble vitamins around. Albumin and transferrin deliver hormones, iron, and fatty acids. Think of them as a fleet of microscopic delivery trucks, making sure that every tissue gets what it needs right on time. Now, if you've ever set foot in a gym or watched any fitness content online, you've definitely heard the phrase protein is key for muscle. But here's why people repeat it so much. Roughly 50% of your dry muscle mass is pure protein. That means, when you look past the water content, half of what makes up your muscles is built by these macromolecules. They're literally the structural foundation of strength and physical performance. When you hit the gym and start lifting weights or doing intense workouts, your muscle fibers go through tiny micro-tears. Sounds scary, but it's totally natural. This is actually how your body evolves and gets stronger. And here's where protein steps in. It repairs those micro-tears, rebuilding the fibers stronger and more resilient than before. This whole process is what we call anabolism, basically the growth and maintenance of muscle over time. But protein's role in your muscles isn't just about rebuilding. It's also key for fighting fatigue. Inside your body, the enzymes that manage energy use during training rely on proteins to work properly. If you spike a fever, for example, or if your muscles become too acidic from lactate buildup, some of these proteins can temporarily lose their function, a process called denaturation. When that happens, energy production slows down and fatigue hits faster. Now imagine you're training hard, but not getting enough protein in your diet. Your body will try to adapt, and one of the first things it might do is start breaking down your own muscle tissue to get the amino acids it needs. It's like taking apart one room in your house to fix another. You might solve the immediate problem, but you lose structure in the process. That's why protein intake is so critical for anyone looking to maintain or gain muscle mass. Here's another thing. Muscle proteins don't work alone. They team up with water, minerals, and energy to keep your muscles healthy. After a tough workout, when you feed your body high-quality protein, you're literally giving it the building blocks it needs to come back stronger. That's why strategies like post-workout whey protein or a protein-rich meal are so popular. They quickly deliver what your muscles are craving to recover and grow. Here's a key takeaway. Building muscle isn't just about the workout. Without enough protein, you could spend hours at the gym and see little to no progress. Real results come from the combo of stimulus, exercise, and raw material, protein. Think of every meal as a chance to feed your muscles and speed up recovery. Now, let's talk about something a lot of people have never even heard of, protein denaturation. Sounds like a complex science term, but the idea is actually simple. Picture a protein as a key. It only works because of its unique 3D shape. That shape is what allows the protein to do its job in your body. When the shape changes, the protein may stop working properly. That change is what we call denaturation. Denaturation can happen in a few different ways. One is high temperature. Think about when you cook an egg. The clear egg white turns white and firm. That's heat changing the protein structure. Inside the body, a fever can cause temporary protein changes too, slowing down some enzymes until your temperature comes back to normal. It's like the gears in your body run slower when things get too hot. Another way proteins denature is through pH changes, meaning the environment becomes too acidic or too alkaline. Your body runs on a delicate chemical balance, and when that balance shifts, some proteins lose their original shape. There's also mechanical agitation, basically shaking or whipping the protein, like when you whip egg whites into a meringue. That movement breaks up the organization of the molecules and changes the texture. Here's a fun fact most people don't know. Denaturation doesn't destroy the nutritional value of protein. During digestion, your body breaks down all proteins into amino acids before absorbing them, whether they're raw, cooked, or whipped. So yes, heating up your whey protein or cooking an egg doesn't make you lose the protein. What you really don't want to do is burn your food, because that's when nutrients get destroyed. In your body, denaturation also explains why fatigue and fever can mess with performance. During heavy training, the acidity in your muscles can temporarily alter how enzymes work, slowing down energy production. That's one of the reasons you feel that deep fatigue or even muscle failure during an intense session. Now that we understand how proteins work and what happens when they get denatured, it's time to dive into the different types of proteins. Not all proteins are the same. Each category has unique features that affect how your body uses them. Knowing the difference is key to building a smart, balanced diet, especially if you're chasing health and peak performance. The first type is simple proteins. These are made purely of amino acids, no extra components attached. Think of them as clean, straightforward building blocks. When you eat this type of protein, your body quickly breaks it down into amino acids and puts them to work, repairing tissues, producing enzymes, and keeping vital processes running. Next, we've got conjugated proteins. These are a little more complex. They're made of amino acids plus a non-peptide component that shows up after hydrolysis, called a prosthetic group. This add-on gives the protein a special function. For example, certain transport proteins in your blood need this extra group to carry nutrients or specific molecules. Imagine them like trucks with a custom trailer designed for different kinds of cargo. The third type is derived proteins. These aren't found ready-made in nature. They form when other proteins break down due to chemical reactions, enzymes, or environmental changes like heat and acidity. They're interesting because they often appear during digestion or in industrial processes, serving as intermediates for functional foods and supplements. Beyond structural classification, there's another key factor to consider: biological value, BV. This tells you how high quality a protein is based on its profile of essential amino acids. High BV proteins contain all the essential amino acids in the right amounts for your body. Classic examples include eggs, milk and dairy, meats, fish, poultry, and even soy, which is the plant-based MVP. On the other hand, low BV proteins don't have all the essential amino acids, or they provide them in smaller amounts. Most plant proteins fall into this category. Think beans, lentils, chickpeas, peanuts, and oats. That doesn't mean they're useless. It just means you need to combine them strategically to give your body the full amino acid profile it needs. Now that we've got the protein types down, let's go a level deeper and talk about the amino acids themselves, the true tiny bricks behind every protein. Without them, there would be no muscles, hormones, enzymes, or antibodies. Here's a cool fact that most people don't know. Your body uses 20 amino acids to build proteins, but not all of them come from the same place. These 20 amino acids fall into two main groups: essential and non-essential. The 12 non-essential ones are made by your body naturally, even if you don't eat them directly. The 8 essential amino acids, though, must come from your diet because your body can't produce them. This is why choosing the right protein sources each day really matters. If you eat animal-based foods like eggs, meat, fish, or dairy, you're likely getting all the essential amino acids without even thinking about it. That's because these are high BV proteins, offering the perfect balance of what your body needs. Even an ovo-lacto-vegetarian diet, which includes eggs and dairy, usually makes it easier to meet those requirements. Things get trickier for vegans and strict vegetarians. In these diets, proteins come mainly from legumes, grains, seeds, and nuts, sources that are often lower in biological value. That means they might be missing one or more essential amino acids. Without smart food pairing, it can be harder to form complete proteins in your body. That's why complementing plant proteins is so important. Classic combos like rice and beans, lentils with pasta, or oats with peanut butter help complete the amino acid profile, ensuring your body gets everything it needs. For athletes or anyone focused on muscle growth, paying attention to this balance becomes even more critical because your body will demand more raw material for recovery and growth. One more tip: always consider your personal context. Not every vegan will need supplements, but in some cases, plant-based protein isolates or even essential amino acid blends can be a practical way to prevent deficiencies. It all comes down to your training load, lifestyle, and of course, guidance from a nutrition professional. Knowing what proteins are, how they work, and why amino acids are important is crucial, but it always leads to the same question: how much protein do you actually need each day to stay healthy and see results? This is one of the most common doubts, whether you're just starting at the gym or simply trying to keep a balanced diet. The answer depends on several factors, like your age, your level of physical activity, and even the stage of life you're in. For sedentary adults, meaning people who don't work out regularly, the recommendation is around 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day, which is about 0.36 grams per pound. It doesn't seem like much, but for someone who isn't putting their muscles under constant stress, that amount is enough to keep the body running smoothly, repairing tissues, and producing hormones. But once you step into an active lifestyle or start training seriously, the story changes completely. Your body needs more protein to repair muscle fibers, prevent the loss of lean mass, and support muscle growth. For this group, recommendations go up to about 1.6 to 2 grams per kilogram of body weight, which is roughly 0.72 to 0.9 grams per pound, depending on training frequency and intensity. So, a person weighing 70 kilos, or about 155 pounds, who trains hard might need somewhere between 112 and 140 grams of protein daily to get good results. Children and teenagers also have higher protein needs per kilogram because they're in a growth phase, and their bodies are constantly building new muscle, bone, and tissue. Including protein sources in every meal is essential for healthy development. Pregnant and breastfeeding women have special requirements as well. During pregnancy, protein needs rise to about 1.1 grams per kilo or 0.5 grams per pound, since the body is literally building another human. For breastfeeding, that number goes up to 1.3 grams per kilo or about 0.6 grams per pound, because producing milk requires extra nutrients and high-quality proteins to ensure the baby grows healthy and strong. Another important detail is that it's not effective to consume all your daily protein at once. The best approach is to spread it throughout the day in 3 to 5 meals. This way, your body absorbs it better and always has amino acids available to recover muscles, produce hormones, and keep your metabolism running. And even with all these guidelines, it's good to remember that each person is unique. These recommendations are a starting point, but ideally, a nutritionist should adjust them to match your goals, lifestyle, and health status. Once you figure out how much protein you need, the next step is to know where it comes from. Identifying good sources of protein is key to building a balanced diet, whether you want to gain muscle, lose fat, or just improve your overall health. The secret is to understand both animal and plant-based sources and how to combine them in the best way. Animal proteins are considered complete and high in biological value because they have all the essential amino acids in the right proportions for your body. Eggs are one of the best examples, especially the whites, which are almost pure protein and are very easy to absorb. Milk and dairy products like cheese and yogurt are also great choices, especially in low-fat versions for those who need to watch their fat intake. Fish deserves a special mention, as it's high in protein and generally lower in fat than most red meats. Skinless chicken is another classic, practical, lean, and packed with nutrients. Lean red meats are excellent as well, but should be eaten in moderation because of their higher fat and cholesterol content. Plant proteins are a little different. Most of them are incomplete, meaning they might be missing one or more essential amino acids, but that doesn't make them bad. In fact, when you combine them the right way, you can create a complete amino acid profile. Legumes like beans, lentils, chickpeas, and peas are great options and come with extra nutrients like fiber and minerals. Nuts and seeds, including peanuts, almonds, and cashews, also provide protein along with healthy fats that support heart health. Grains like rice, oats, and quinoa work perfectly to complement the amino acid profile of legumes. That's why classic combos like rice and beans or chickpeas with pasta are so powerful. They turn plant proteins into a complete source that your body can use to repair and grow. For vegetarians and vegans, mastering these food combinations is key to avoiding nutrient deficiencies and making sure you get all the essential amino acids. And even if you eat animal protein, adding plant-based sources brings extra benefits like fiber and antioxidants, making your diet more varied and balanced. Now that you know everything about proteins, what they are, how they work, and where they come from, it's time to put this knowledge into practice. After all, it's not enough to just know that protein is important. You need to consume it strategically if you want to really feel the benefits in your health, your body, and even your workout performance. The first tip is to spread your protein intake throughout the day. Instead of piling it all into 1 or 2 meals, like lunch and dinner, aim for smaller servings in every meal, ideally every 3 hours. This keeps a steady flow of amino acids in your bloodstream, making sure your muscles and tissues always have the building blocks they need for recovery and growth. Another simple but powerful tip is to include a protein source in every single meal. It doesn't always have to be meat or eggs. It could be yogurt, cheese, legumes, or even a mix of grains and seeds. The key is that every meal should give your body the protein dose it needs to keep all its functions running strong. Think of it this way. Every meal is an opportunity to strengthen your body from the inside out. Post-workout nutrition deserves special attention. After a tough training session, your muscles are craving amino acids to kickstart the recovery process. That's the perfect time to prioritize complete proteins like eggs, chicken, fish, or whey protein. Doing this speeds up muscle anabolism and reduces recovery time. This habit makes a difference not just for anyone trying to build muscle, but also for those looking to preserve muscle mass during a calorie deficit. Your last meal of the day can also be strategic. Keeping a protein source and reducing carbs at night helps your body continue repairing itself during sleep without storing excess energy. Foods like eggs, low-fat cheese, or unsweetened yogurt are excellent nighttime options. This way, while you sleep, your body keeps working to maintain muscle. For some people, hitting their daily protein target with food alone can be challenging. That's where supplements come in, like the well-known whey protein or plant-based options made from pea, rice, or soy. They're practical and help you fill the gap. But remember, a supplement is just that, a supplement. Solid meals should always be the foundation, since they also provide fiber, vitamins, and minerals. So, did you enjoy diving into the world of proteins with me? Now you understand how they work, why they're so important, and how to use them in your daily life to gain health, energy, and real results. Let me know in the comments. Which of these tips are you going to try first? If this video helped you in any way, hit the like button. This tells YouTube the content is worth it and helps more people discover it. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss our next videos packed with tips on training, nutrition, and health. That's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching until the end. Now it's your turn.